We're gonna wait a few minutes just to see if anybody else logs in, and then if it's just you and I'll answer any questions that you have from the homework worksheets or anything in general, but specifically from the homework. But we'll see. I'll wait a few minutes, probably I don't know, 11:05. So what are you, a freshman, sophomore?
This is my last semester, sophomore. Yeah.
Last semester?
I mean, for the prerequisite, I'm taking the prerequisite for the nursing program. So
You're taking what?
the prerequisite,
I'm still not understanding.
this is my last class to get on the nursing program.
The last class, okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And are you gonna go on from here?
Yes.
Where do you plan on going on?
I'm still putting my application, so I don't really know yet.
Bridgewater, Salem, UMass Boston,
UMass Boston and Roxbury.
Roxbury.
Hill.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. A relative of mine used to be the president of Roxbury, Dr. Terrence Gomes,
Oh.
married to in fact, prior to becoming president of Roxbury, he was the vice president of instruction here at Massasoit, and then he took the job as the president of Roxbury. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's nice to have have to have relatives, but people that we know that are in positions of leadership. So how's it going so far? How you find the course, the videos and everything else?
It's fine.
Good.
Yeah, I
All
understand
right,
it.
so rather than, I'm not going to hold you up because you've got things to do. So why don't I start answering any questions that you have? And if anybody else joins us, let me just start out because I'm recording this and hopefully people watch the recording. I just want to show you something about the exam. So I'm going to share my screen right now.
Okay.
And you should be seeing our course right there. What I want to show you is Tuesday. All right, this coming Tuesday. And what you'll do to take the quiz, it's called a quiz. Canvas calls it quizzes. It's actually an exam, one and the same. So on the left-hand menu here, you see me pointing at quizzes.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll click on that. And in fact, let me go into, oh gosh, let me go into student view. Let me see if I can do this. Let me go back. And let me go into student view. Let's published. And why aren't I seeing student view here? That's amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, anyways. If I click on quizzes here, you'll see this guy published. And what I want to show you is the exam will open up at 11 o'clock on Tuesday the 14th, and you've got a whole 24 hours. The exam closes at 11 o'clock the following day, the Wednesday. Now you've got 150 minutes, which translates obviously to 2.5 hours to complete your exam. But here's the important thing. Once you begin your exam, you must complete the exam in one sitting. It's not a situation where you start it, you go out to McDonald's and get a hamburger and come back and continue. Now, once you start it, you got to finish it. 35 questions, and they're presented one at a time. Now, for security purposes, once you answer a question, you won't be able to go back to any previous question. So make sure you've got the right response. All right, once your exam is completed, you'll see your grade immediately. All right, now, once all of the students in our class have submitted exams, you can go back to Canvas and see the answer to any incorrect question. So the important thing is it's open from 11 o'clock on the Tuesday and it closes 11 o'clock. It's 11 a.m. now the following day. So you have a whole 24 hours. But once you start it, you've got to complete it in one sitting. Any questions regarding the exam?
No, I got it.
All right, so Go back home here and let me stop sharing my screen. All right. There's Rosa connecting. Rose and Rosa. Give her a second. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty well. I was just showing Rose the information regarding our exam this coming Tuesday. And I'll be sending out something probably Sunday, the actual directions on how to do it. I can share my screen again. Back, let me do this. I'm all set there. What I was showing her is right here. Even though I refer to it as an exam, Canvas refers to exams as quizzes. So on this left-hand menu here, and I'm not quite sure why I can't get into student view. It's interesting. I'm sure here it is right here. Oh, okay. So this is what you'll see. All right. And you'll click right on the left-hand menu, quizzes. And right here, you'll see it not available until the 14th, which is this coming Tuesday. All right. So it's not open until 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. And when you do click on it, well, it's locked. The idea is if I leave student view, and here are the directions. It's open from 11 o'clock Tuesday morning until 11 o'clock Wednesday morning. You've got 150 minutes. The idea is to, however, once you start it, you can't stop it. You got to finish it. So here's what I advise students before you even start the exam. Make sure you have all your materials ready. And by that, I mean have all your notes, all your solutions to the homework examples, the worksheets. Have your calculator by your side. In other words, you don't want to, be starting the exam and then have to run off to get something, all right? Because you got, I'm giving you 150 minutes, which is 2.5 hours, more than enough time to do 35 questions. Be quite honest, some questions take actually, seconds to answer. And then the questions that towards the end of the exam are a little more lengthier, but 2.5 hours is plenty enough time. All right, so you have to do it in one sitting. Once you're done with the exam, you'll see your score immediately. And then once all the students in our class have completed the exam, you can go back and see the answers to your whatever questions you had wrong. So here again, I told Rose that I'll be emailing students this information probably over the weekend, probably Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. So. All right, ladies, what do you have? I'll start with Rose. Rose, what do you have for questions regarding the homework? If you have any. Rosa, same thing. What I'll do is I'll share my screen. I'll call up the actual worksheet and I'll walk you through it.
I'm just a little bit confused over the probability, but some of them.
Specifically, what do you have questions with? Give me a worksheet number and give me a problem number. Rosa,
More like
go ahead.
when we have to do.
I need a specific example. Talking in generalities, I can't answer the question. Give me a specific example that you got a question with. Section 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2, part 1, 4, 2, part 2.
On the last sheet, number 6.
Last sheet, you're meaning what now? What number? 4, 2, part 2, 4, 2, what? You know a number. On the back page of the worksheet, you'll see the number at the top of the page, the section number.
I put my out, so.
Does the question start with how many ways can an IRS auditor select 5 of 10 tax returns for an audit?
Give me the section. What section is it?
So I think she's looking at section 4.3, question 6, but I'm not sure because I think that's the
4.3
very
is
last
not
one.
even on the test.
Okay, well, I just have it
Exam
printed. That's
starts
why.
at 4.2 to start. It starts, I'm sorry, I can't even speak. It stops at section 4.2, part 2.
Okay, perfect. So 4 point.
If you look here, if I can show you, hold on, let me share my screen again. Okay, let me share that. Go back to the course. Today's homework, yesterday's homework, right here. See what it says here? Stops at 4.2.
Okay, so there is a question 6, but I'm not sure if this is the one that she's talking about.
Trying to get it on the laptop. The thing is, I pointed out to work on it, so it's not on my paper. That's why I can say it. So
Well, I hate to say it, but this is why when I emailed everybody, I said, be ready to have the specific number because it just makes better use of our time. But in any
sorry.
case, I'll give you a moment.
It's 4.2, section 4.2, question 6.
4.2, part 1 or part 2?
Part 2.
Okay, let me see if I can get it up here. Give me a second. All right, so I've got part 2 up here now. Which particular example you're talking about? This is 4.2, part 2.
Mm. 6, yes. Sorry.
Number 6, based upon meteorological records, the probability that it will snow in a certain town in January is 0.185. Find a probability it will not snow. Well, the idea is the probability of something happening at plus the probability of the complement, that thing does not happen, has to equal 1. All right. So if we know that the probability of it snowing is 0.185, the probability that it doesn't snow is 1 minus 0.185 is 0.815. The sum of the probabilities of all these sample spaces of all the events has to equal a total of 1. So if you know the probability of it snowing is 0.185, the probability that it doesn't snow is 1 minus that. If I told you the probability it rains today is 0.6, probability that it doesn't rain is 1 minus 0.6.
Oh, okay.
Pretty straightforward. Look at right here, number 5 says it all. It says, hey, the probability of an event happening is 1/7. Let's find the probability of the complement. The complement is the A with a bar over it. Well, I'm taking 1 minus 1/7 equals 6/7, but 6/7 as a decimal is 0.8, 0.8171. Now, this is interesting. You realize that 1 whole minus 1/7 is 6/7. But if you did it on your calculator, you would have come up with this decimal. Let me just show you something. It's kind of a handy feature here.
Okay.
Pull up my calculator. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share my calculator. Let me clear this off. And what do we got here? We had a decimal. I went 1 minus the fraction 1/7, 1 divided by 7. And it came up with a decimal. Now, if I look at all my answers, my answers are all fractions. Now, it's not a hard thing to realize that 1 minus 1/7 is 6/7. Well, what is 1 whole? 1 whole is 7/7. 7/7 minus 1/7 is 6/7. But if you've forgotten that, your calculator gives you your answer in a decimal. I like the tablet calculator change this decimal into a fraction for me. By hitting the math key, the very first option here under math is, hey, no, it's fraction. If I hit enter again and hit enter again, guess what it does? It takes that decimal and converts it to a fraction for me. Very handy feature. especially when you got a fraction, you got a decimal that goes on and on and on and on. And if it's a rational number, the calculator is able to change that. For instance, if I say 0.4, change that to a fraction for me. I go to math, the very first option is fraction here. I press enter a couple of times, and what it does, it changes that decimal 0.4 or 0.400, changes it to a fraction, 2/5. It's a very handy feature that the calculator offers. Are we all set there?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Rosa?
Hi. So let me see.
Rosa, what are you, freshman, sophomore? Where are you?
No, so I graduated already. I graduated from UMass Boston with a bachelor's in science.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Just taking
What
this
year did you
course
graduate?
over. I graduated in 2021.
Oh, you're an old lady, huh?
Excuse the background. I'm on break right now in Boston, so
Yeah,
I
what do
just
you work?
decided to go outside.
What do you
I
work?
work in the hospital. I'm
Which
an
hospital?
emergency room technician.
Wow, what an important job. What hospital?
Tufts.
Yeah, in fact, I'm very familiar with Tufts. My dad had procedures there. I got friends. In fact, I was just in a couple of months ago, I was at the Boston Food and Allergy Center right in Chinatown, and Dr. Lee Young is associated with Tufts. Good hospital. We're fortunate to have great hospitals in Boston.
Yes, we are definitely.
So, all right, you graduated already, then you decided to come back to Massasoit because you needed to get a degree in nursing?
I just needed to take stats for PA program that I'm trying to apply to.
Oh, great, physician assistant, yeah.
Yes.
Good for you.
So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited.
How's it going so far with all my videos and all my
So far,
voiceovers?
So far it's going well. I was just having a hard time understanding Canvas because I haven't really, I'm trying to get used to the whole
Yeah,
thing
pretty
of
much it's this
Massasoit
way.
kind
Pretty
of.
much I post the homeworks, and within the homework, I've got several things. First of all, I have a video of the section we're covering.
Okay.
And then I've got a PowerPoint that I put up. I also put up Google Slides. Now, why I do Google Slides is sometimes people don't want to download the PowerPoint.
Okay.
And I don't require anybody print out all the slides, but the Google Slides do a nice job. But there are certain slides in the PowerPoint that you like to have for your notes. And what I was telling Rose is, you've got 2.5 hours to do the exam. It's opening up at 11 o'clock and it closes at 11 o'clock the next day. So it gives people who are working, enough time. But the idea is once you start the exam, you got to finish it in one sitting. It's not like you start it and, go out for a cocktail and come back, and continue on. So what you need to do is before you even start is have all your notes. Now, what constitutes your notes? To me, the best thing is to have the PDF files where I have the screenshots of the solutions. Now, people ask me about why don't I collect homework? Well, if you look at all the homework, they're all multiple choice and I give you the answers. So it's kind of counterproductive to, grade homework that I give you the answers to. And once again, the reason my homework examples or my homework sheets are multiple choice, it mirrors what you're going to see on the test because the exam is multiple choice. And to be quite honest, if I pick 1, 3, and 5 on the homework, probably I'm picking examples 2, 4, and 6 for the exam. So they're very similar. Not, some people always ask me, is it going to be the same problems? Well, come on, not hardly, but very similar. So having all your notes now, whether your notes, sometimes you can have too many notes, you follow what I'm saying, and then things get confused. You got to be organized. You got to have it. All right, this is section 1.1. All right, here's my worksheet. This is section 1.2 and 1.3. Here's my worksheet. Because what's going to happen on the exam, I could be a real son of a gun. I could give you the problems all mixed up. No, I don't do that. We started out with section 1.1. Guess what the first problems are going to be? Section 1.1. You follow? I do it. I set the exam up to follow the same order in which I presented the material. So having things ready so you're not kind of, looking all around and wasting time is super important. That makes sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, and Canvas is straightforward. I mean, you've got it's just all a matter of watching the video, looking at the PowerPoints, downloading them. Now, you're aware that by being a student at Massasoit, you're able to download a copy of Office to your computer for free, which would include, PowerPoint and everything else.
Yes,
But
I made sure of that for sure.
yeah, now folks don't have that. You can always just watch the Google slides. Okay. That's all. It is.
I'm trying to think what I had a problem with.
Finding
I def-
parking in Boston.
That's for sure one.
Yeah. Do they provide parking for you folks?
No, you have to get a pass, unfortunately.
And how does the pass work?
So you can buy like monthly passes. So it all depends on what you really want to do and what benefits you most.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to find street parking, but then you get the risk of getting a ticket.
Yeah, you think they would, well, in Boston, parking is so tough, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, lucky
ticket, you can
lucky
get
they're
towed.
paying you a lot of money anyways.
I will. I'm planning on going to South Shore Hospital. It's actually much closer to where I'm at in Brockton.
Yeah.
It's in Weymouth, so that's free parking there, and they kind of pay me a little less, but it's
The
kind of
travel,
worth
especially
it
with gas
with the
nowadays.
travel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was at a wake yesterday and I was talking to a friend of mine who works in Boston. He actually bought a hybrid car. It was costing him like 20 some odd dollars a day. Because once he's in Boston, he's gonna drive around to different places. So he bought a hybrid.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So what do you got?
So there's, it might be simple, but it's just the
No,
box.
listen, don't apologize. If you don't know something, you don't know something. No matter how easy it is, if you don't know it, who cares? So don't apologize.
It's one of the questions on the box plot. So I think it's section 3.2.
Okay, give me a sec. 3.2. Let me just call it up here. 3.2 and 3.3 are all one. All right, so let me go back and share my screen. Okay, what do you got? What problem? Box plot. All right.
Yeah, so it can be from 17 to 19, whichever. I just wanted to make sure how to correctly construct the box plot.
Listen to what I'm saying here. All right, there's ways that, for instance, you look at these box plots, it's called a 5-number series. All right, make this a little bit larger here. Let me make this 100%. All right. A box plot is called a 5-number summary. It's the minimum value, quartile 1, the median, which is quartile 2, quartile 3, and then the maximum. But, to find the smallest number, I mean, there it is, 100. The largest number is 134. All right. Now, if you look at all these answers here, A has 100 and 134, B or 100, finding the lowest and the largest number is not the issue. The issue is finding quartile 1, quartile 2, the median, and quartile 3. Now, we can figure this out. Let's say quartile 1 is what? Quartile 1 is the same as P25. All right, P25 is 0.25. So I've got here 32 numbers. I could do this. I could find 1/4 of 25% of 32 numbers is 8. I would take the 8th number because it's a whole number. I take the 8th and I would average it out with the 9th. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. If I take the 8th number and average it out with the 9th number, because it's exactly 25% of 32 is 8. So halfway between 107 and 109 is 108. Well, there it is. I see 108 as my quartile 1. But look at letter C. It also has 108. It can't be letter A because letter A has 107 for quartile 1, letter D. So already I know it's not A or D. So it's either B or C. Then if you look at quartile 3, well, that's 118. And this guy, no, letter C also has 118. How they differ is in quartile 2, the median. All right, quartile 2 is 50%. Well, 50%, 0.50, one half of 32 is 16. All right. Well, here's the 16th number. Since 16 is the whole number, you're going to find the average between the 16th and the 17th. Well, halfway between 114 and 114 is 114. Well, there it is. It's letter B because it has 114, letter C had 112. All right, so it's faster to do it that way, but if seriously, if you want to make sure, and I tell this to people all the time, if you want to make absolutely sure that you get the right answers, is take all these values, these 32 numbers, put it into a list. And then you go to stat, calculate one variable stat, and look at the, the minimum and the maximum is no big deal. But the calculator will tell you the quartile 1, it'll tell you the median quartile 2, and it'll tell you the median quartile 3. So by putting these numbers into a calculator, going to stat, one variable stat, you can't get it wrong because the calculator gives you the 5 numbers that you need. So all you're doing is matching up this with, here again, letter B. You follow me? And now putting in 32 numbers may seem like a big deal, but in actuality, it takes you about a minute and a half. You follow me? And you're
Yes.
guaranteed you're going to get the right answers.
Okay. That
You
makes a lot
follow?
more sense. Thank
Does that
you.
make sense? Yeah. And what
Yes, it
happens,
definitely does.
I see people nowadays. In fact, give you an example. I was here again in line. The wake I went to yesterday, the woman was, her family was well known here in New Bedford. It was a huge wake. Now, the people that were standing in front of me was a relative, and I saw this young lady texting. It's amazing how young people can text with both hands. So if you can text that fast, guess what? Putting in 32 numbers into your calculator is not going to be a big issue for you. It may take you as maybe 2 minutes, if that long. You follow me? But the idea is you are guaranteed to get the right answer because your calculator is finding all the 5 numbers you need. And in actuality, you didn't need the calculator to find the smallest number for you, and you didn't need the calculator to find the biggest number for you. You with me? It was these 3, the Q1, the median, Q2, and Q3. Hello?
Thank you so much.
That good?
Yes, it definitely made so much more sense.
And then the same thing would, I could calculate all this stuff for me, number 16. I know the smallest number is 5.5. I know the largest number is 8.7. The difference is, hey, what is quartile 1, median, and quartile 3?
Yeah.
Here you only got 30 numbers. Put these in the calculator, go to stat, one variable stat, and tell the calculator, here again, when you're putting numbers into your calculator, I prefer to put them in list 1. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I want to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to share my calculator. Putting numbers into a list. Let me just turn this on and clear this up. If I go to stat, the very first option here is edit. And I got a bunch of numbers in list 1. What happens is you get 6 different lists, but sometimes when you put your values in, you forget where your numbers are at. So I tell people, keep it in list 1 or keep it in list 2. Now, I've got a lot of values in list 1. How do I clear this off? Well, I could hit delete for each different one here. All right, but it'd take me a long time. All I need to do is go above the vertical horizontal line and press clear. And it wipes the numbers out. All right, so for instance, let's say I wanted the calculator to, do number 16. I would start out with 5.5. And you see what's happening here. It's giving me a bunch of decimal places. It's giving me 4 places. So I tell people to do all my answers here are correct in one place. So if I go to my mode and I come down to float and I tell the calculator, hey, I want you to calculate these values, but use only 1 decimal place. So there it is, my 1. I'm going to second function and quit out of this. I'm going to go back to stat, edit, and there it is, 5.5. And the reason that I want to set my mode to 1 place, you don't want to have an answer that has like 9 places in it. You follow me? You don't want to have to play round off. You want the calculator to do everything for you. So as I look at answers, before I even start the problem, if I'm using my calculator, if I see all my answers have 2 decimal places, well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my mode, and set my float to 2 decimal places. I want to have my calculator in tune with what the answers are all about. So once again, go to stat. There's my edit, 5.5. The next number is 5.7, and I would continue on 5.8. And I'm not going to do all of them, obviously. What's the next one? 5.9. 6.1 a couple of times. I'll just do that first column, that first row. 6.1, 6.1 is used again. I've got 6.3. And I've got 6.4, 6.4, 6.5 and 6.6, 6.5 and 6.6. Now that took it actually took me about 10 seconds. And then I would put all the rest of the numbers in. But let's assume this is all I had was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 numbers. And I wanted to do a box plot. I would go to stat. I would go over to calculate. It's always one variable stat. We don't use anything else in this menu. All right, one variable stat is the only thing we use. I would press enter. Where are my values? Well, I got my values in list 1. Now let's assume for a second that I'd put my values in list 2. Well, how would I get to list 2? Well, if you look over here, the second function of the 1 key is list 1. The second function of the 2 key is list 2, and so forth. Let's just assume for the argument's sake that my numbers were in list 2. I would hit second function. I would press the 2 key. All right, I'm telling the calculator, hey, I want you to give me these answers, but I want you to use list 2. Well, we know ours is not in list 2, ours is in list 1. Second function, hit the 1 key. All right, I would hit calculate, and there it would tell me, it tells me my mean, it tells me the summation of all my values, it tells me all my values squared, it tells me the standard deviation, tells me I put in 10 numbers, but this is what I'm looking at right here. It tells me my smallest number, 5.5. It tells me my Q1, right, which is this first value here, 6.1. And then, it tells me Q3 and it tells me it gives you all 5 numbers. There's no need to do any formulas because the calculator gave you all 5. Make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
All right.
You honestly taught me so many different things with the calculator I've never known.
Well, the thing is, I do these, I know it's difficult because you're taking a summer course and the majority of people are working, but if you ever have a question, just shoot me an email. What I'll do is I'll produce a little video for you and I'll pop it onto
Thank you.
YouTube. And it not only helps you, but it helps other people who just haven't got I don't know. They just
The
don't
knowledge
have
behind it. They don't know how to
no,
use
if you don't know, ask. That's what I'm here for,
Yeah.
I sit and I wait for, to be quite honest, I haven't seen any questions in the discussion board. I may have gotten 1 or 2 questions that people ask me. And here's something else. Let me just show you. Well, I don't want to show you because I don't want to embarrass anybody. I've got people who have logged on for hours. In fact, let me just do this without showing anybody's name. Let me just do something here. Let me share my screen. I don't mean to embarrass anybody, but just kind of show you how I can look behind the screen. If I go over here to people, not pages. You see this total activity here? It tells me how long people have been in this here. I don't want to show anybody's name here, all right? But the point being is this. I've seen people that I have logged on for sometimes up to 17 hours. And then I've seen people who have only logged in for a matter of minutes. I'm saying, how can you do a 5-week course and all the materials on Canvas and you've only logged in for like 45? It's just, I just don't know. I just don't know. Anything else, ladies? The point being is, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me, because if I answer it for you with 17 people, I know that you're not the only person who was struggling with this. So if I answer it for you, I can post it on Canvas and say, oh, by the way, I just did this for Rosa, check it out.
I'll definitely start coming more with questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm here
Definitely
for.
will.
This is, it's online is great, but you got to, we're trying to condense what we normally do in a 15-week period.
Yeah.
Most courses on campus, we run between 14 and 15 weeks. So we're getting this all done in 1/3 of the time. So it's a lot of information, but in order to, before someone signs up for a summer course, chances are they must have taken a summer course somewhere before. And if not, you're like overwhelmed. But what did you think was going to happen? How do you complete a 15-week course in 5 weeks? Something's got to give. It's a lot more information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So please feel free to email me
I'll do.
or even post it in the discussion board. But I would rather a personal email because it's just a little more direct, you know?
Okay.
Rose, any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You're good.
Yeah, I think.
Were you born in Haiti?
Yes.
How long you been here?
3 years now.
3 minutes.
3 years.
Rose, anything else?
As of right now, that I have written down, not really, but I know I have more.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do, just to give you an idea. We have the first test this Tuesday, and our last test is the Thursday, the 30th. What I'm
Yep.
going to do before the 30th is on the 29th, the Wednesday before our last exam. I'll do another Zoom meeting. You know, I do them on Fridays, but because of the exam being on that Thursday, I'll do a Zoom meeting the day before. But please
Okay.
do not hesitate. You're not bothered. This is my job, is to answer questions. And no, that's what I do. I mean, it's what they pay me for. You know?
Yeah.
I have no problem. And I'm always on my computer to the point, you know, I'm actually taking a course. I'm designing something for the fall, but I am constantly on my machine. It's almost, that's what I do. Ladies,
Yeah.
all right.
I
mean,
appreciate it.
I don't want to, no.
What
I
I'll do,
appreciate you
'cause-
to appreciate it.
well, right now I'm on like break. I mean, I should be going back in a few minutes,
Okay.
but
right.
what I'll do is when I get home tonight,
Yeah,
I'll write out all the questions that I have.
yeah,
I'll see if I can solve them out again, like study over.
yeah.
And then if I have any more questions about it, what I'll do is I'll email you directly about it.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Fantastic.
we'll
And
go
what
from
I'll
there.
do is, you know, sometimes, you know, in writing a email back to you, but a lot of times me doing a video, especially if it has to do with a calculator, I can actually produce a video where I actually have my calculator up and I'm actually doing the example from start to finish. And then what I do, I take the video and I publish it to YouTube, my YouTube channel. And I'll share the video with you.
Thank you.
Good. Rose, if that's it, you're all set. I don't want to keep you folks more time than I have to.
Okay.
Same
think
thing,
we're
Rose.
good.
If you have any questions between now and Tuesday, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll produce a video. If it's an easy question, I'll just respond, you know, back to you. But if it's more complicated, if it involves a calculator, I'll obviously produce a video for you.
All
Thank
righty.
you. Good.
Thank you
Ladies,
so
have-
much.
Yep, you're quite welcome. Ladies, have a great day. Pleasure to meet both of you. It's, you know, it's tough when we're not on campus, you know, we don't have that face-to-face interaction. But I wish you folks well, and please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
All right, have a great
Have a
day.
good day.
You
too.
as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.